This is how to put your marks down for a cross wrap. I start with a piece of masking tape, 1/2 inch, and I'm rotating it around. I'm going to turn it inside out and continue to wrap it around. It puts the sticky side to the outside. Now I got to figure out how long my butt wrap's going to be. In most cases, 6 to 8 inches is normal. Anything longer than that starts getting hard to keep straight. Doesn't look as good sometimes. They start looking kind of gaudy. So with that being said, this one I'm only going to make a few inches long because I have to keep it in camera view. And I'm going to go ahead and put my collar down here on this end. Same thing, I'm going to turn my tape around outside, sticky side out. Okay, I got my collars on there. Now for demo purpose, I'm going to use a magic marker for this. And what I've got is I've got a mark on here where the top of the rod would be. Normally you'd have your reel seat and stuff, you would line up off of that. So I'm going to put a mark here on the top, and then I got to transfer that mark down here to this end on this collar. So I'm going to use, there's a light line here on the front side here. I'm going to use that light line to transfer a straight line down here to there. Now I have a line on this end and here. Now I have to find 180 degrees for my second marks to go on. So I'm going to take a piece of Scotch tape, or a piece of masking tape here. I'll put a little mark on it right where the top of the rod is. I'm going to rotate this tape around, and I'll put a mark where it overlaps. And then I'll take this back off. I'll take these two marks with the sticky side out and line those two up, and I'll put a crease in it. Where that crease is going to be my 180 degree mark. So I'll take that creased part, line it back up with my top of my rod, rotate it around, and now I have a 180 here on this end. Again, I have to transfer that 180 to the other end down here, so I'm going to go back to my light line that's on here and transfer that mark. Now I have a mark here and here. You could use a circle divider to get these marks to get 180 degrees from it. You could use a butt alignment tool to be able to straightly mark the marks from top to bottom. Whatever works for you is the way to go. My ruler for doing this is if you take the distance from the middle of the blank, whatever you put, when you put your patterns down, you want to elongate it if it's a chevron, and you want to keep it the same dimensions as the center one if it's going to be a diamond. And a diamond you'll have, because you've got a tapered blank, you'll have a bigger pattern here on this end and a smaller pattern on this end. So they'll start getting squatty on one side and elongated on the other side, but the one in the middle is perfect, and your eyes can't tell the difference between them, so it just looks like it's all balanced. So I'm going to come back up here to the top. I know that the diameter of this is 1 inch, and I want to add a little bit to it because I'm going to do a chevron. So I'm making my mark at 1.5 inches with this seam stitch ruler here. Come back and use my light line to put my marks on here, and it's important to mark them, and then I'm going to continue up the blank. And then the important part is, now I've got my marks on here. I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees, and now I'm going to take half the distance, which is 3/4 of 1.5 inches, and I'm going to start out, my first mark out here is going to be 3/4 of an inch. Now the important part is to go back to 1.5 inches, because that's going to put me between my other patterns. So now I go on and I'll mark these up at 1.5 inches. And that's my marks. So now I've got my marks on here. You can use a string to see if your marks are straight, but line them up like this. Right now I'm not going to worry about the marks being right. They're close enough. I'm going to start out on the top, right here on the top on the corner point, and I'm going to rotate this around. I'm going to get my cross marks here, and we'll follow them up. Go up on the top, and we'll rotate back around, and we'll follow it back down. And once this is done, I tape it off. And then I'll use my string on here across from end to end, and I can align my marks. These marks are on, and these marks are a little off. These two right here are to the top side. So at this point what I do is I take my burnishing tool and I just rotate these down and get them in line so that they're straight. Once these are straight, then your wrap from here on out should be straight. Every once in a while you can put a string across it and check it to make sure everything's staying straight. But that's a basic setup right there.